everyone, Cherie here. Today I'm doing a Traveller's Notebook spread using the Felicity Jane Mila Kit. But first I'm going to play with some embossing powder and use a couple of Felicity Jane stamps to create some pretty gold embellishments. So I'm using this Ranger embossing powder, it's called Princess Gold, and I've just stamped in some Versamark ink, sprinkled on that embossing powder, and now I'm going to use my heat gun to melt and make it really pretty. And you'll see here as it changes, turns that lovely metallic gold. There we go. Oh, it's always so fun to play with this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to cut that out, but first I've got another stamp to do, and this one is an arrow stamp from the Zoe stamp set. That first stamp set, I'm sorry I forgot to mention, was from the Kate stamp set. So you can find these stamp sets in the Felicity Jane store. So again, I've just stamped it with that Versamark ink, sprinkled on that embossing powder, and now I can use my heat gun to make that transformation. So I'm just going to freehand cut these out, and I can use these on my spread as embellishments. Now I chose this color because they're going to tie in really nicely with the really pretty gold leatherette alphabet stickers that are in the kit this month. Okay, so I'm just tipping that embossing powder back into my jar. I just use a scrap piece of paper folded in half, and that's the perfect funnel to get that embossing powder back in there. Now, while I've got my mat out, I'm also going to stamp directly onto this photo. Now, this is the second photo that I'll be using on the spread. And because it's got that curved edge of the bowl, I'm going to use this stamp, Something to Smile About, and that's from the Zoe stamp set as well. And because it's a long, skinny stamp, I'm going to curve it on my clear stamp block. So I'll just have a look at how it's going to look there, if the curve's right. Just fiddling around, just making a couple of adjustments, and I'm pretty happy with how that's going to go. So I'll have a little test stamp first, and I'm using Stays on ink because I'm stamping directly onto my photo. And now we're doing it. Here we go. Hopefully it works, and it does. So I'm quite happy with how that looks. So now I can continue on with the rest of my spread. Alright, so this first page I've got the pretty wood grain paper from the kit, and this strip that I'm adding across the bottom is actually the branding strip that was attached to that piece of paper. So I'm just going to add a little piece to the bottom of each of my pages there, just adding those with some really thin double-sided tape. So just one little strip across the bottom of each of those pages, and my journaling is already printed and ready to go as well. I use the travelling typewriter font on my computer, and now I can start building this first page. So I've got that photo at the bottom, and there those lovely leatherette alpha stickers that I'm going to be using, and you can see the gold works really nicely with those and that embossing. So the photo's gone on there. And there's that little arrow piece, which I'm just going to staple onto the page with my tiny attacher. And that was pretty easy. And now I can play with those alphas. I'm thinking I'll just stack them like that because they don't stretch across the page. And then I'm going to do a bit of stamping right at the top to add to that title. But first I'm going to stick that bug word down. I won't stick lady down yet because I'm going to do that stamping, and I don't want those alpha stickers to interfere with the stamp. So I'll just leave them there so that I can work out the positioning, and I'm using those basics lowercase stamps. They're alphabet stamps from Felicity Jane. I really love this fun font as well. It's my kind of font. Alright, so I'm doing the first three letters first because there is only one T in the stamp set. So I'll be doing this word in two parts. Madison actually named her little ladybug Dotty. So that's what I'm going to put here as part of the title. So there we go. I've got that first part of the word on there. And then I can change those letters out and put T-I-E for this second part of this word. So the trick will be lining it up so that it's not obvious that I've stamped it in 2 lots. So I'll just have a little practice first. And that was pretty good. So I'm just going to go straight onto the page now. Hope for the best. And I'm pretty happy with that. So that's good. I'm just cleaning my stamps off with my stamp chamois there. Okay, and now I want the word "the" as part of my title. And I'm using the stamp that says "the best part" from the Mila stamp set. I'm just going to cut that first word out to use as part of the title. So I'm stamping onto some scrap white cardstock, and then I'll just cut that out. And I'm just going to position that to the right of the word "dotty." It's a bit hard to focus on there, but you can see how tiny it is. I'm just going to turn it sideways. Alright, so those letter stickers can go on now, making sure I get them nice and straight. And then I'm just going to use some really thin double-sided tape to add that little word on there as well. Okay, so I'm just going to, just sideways, just like that. And then I'm going to add a pretty floral die cut to finish this first page off. Okay, so the die cuts in the pack, I had this really pretty pink floral, but I thought the white went a lot better with my page. So I'm just trimming the flowers from that pink floral, and I'm going to add the white flower onto there. I'll just tuck it under the edge of the G just for a little bit of layering, and then those leaves I can tuck in behind the flower. Now there's already a sticky backing now on the back of that flower, so that helps to hold those leaves into place. And now I can start work on the second page of my spread. Okay, so there's that photo that I stamped directly onto earlier, and I'm just backing that with some more of that wood grain paper. And then that will go at the top of my page, but first I'm going to do one more stamp on here, and it's the word "today" from the Mila stamp set. So I'll just do a little test stamp. Now I think I had something stuck on the stamp, so it took me a couple of goes to get a nice crisp image. And now I'm going directly onto the page, and I'm really happy with how that comes out. Alright, so now I've got that one more gold element to add to this, and I'm just going to staple that on again using my tiny attacher. That's the stamp that says the story, and that was from the Kate stamp set. One more little touch to the top right of that photo, and I've got one of those little oval paper clips and a little heart die cut that was in the Mila kit as well, and my photo can now go onto there into place. Alright, so a couple more little things. I'm going to add some of that really pretty heart washi that was in the kit down that bottom right hand corner, and then I'll add my date next to that as well. So I'll leave you with these close-up photos. Let me know if you've got any questions, and I'll leave a link down below, and I'll be back again really soon with more to share. Thank you for joining me. Bye for now.